The sky began to speak. Not in thunder or storm, but in light that traveled across time. But one telescope, nested far above the stratosphere, a ripple. Not in air, but in space itself. A faint warping, like gravity remembering a secret. The data streamed down to Earth. At first, it looked like static. Then it became a pattern. A pulse. Precise. Recurring. Coming from a point far beyond our solar system. The coordinates pointed to a star. But not one we knew. A red dwarf, old and dim, just beyond the veil of mapped stars. And orbiting it. Something that reflected light in unnatural ways. Not a planet. Not a rock. A structure. Hexagonal. Metallic. And emitting bursts of radiation too regular to be random. It blinked, once every 39 hours. Like a lighthouse from across the void. We named it Vesta 7. But that name would not last. For as the signal grew clearer, so did the message. Not language. But a mathematical invitation. Ratios? Constants? The golden mean encoded in neutrino pulses. It wasn't just noise. It was design. And within those bursts, a mirror. Data echoed back. Not just from the telescope, but from signals sent by Voyager decades ago. Somehow, they had caught it. Reflected it. Altered it. The object near the red dwarf wasn't merely passive. It was listening. And now, it was responding. An emergency conference was called in Geneva. Physicists, astronomers, linguists, and one volcanologist, invited because the pulse matched patterns found in Mount Vesago's ancient tablets. The symbols carved in ash, now seen in starlight. Coincidence fractured. The volcano had not erupted randomly. It was a clock. A beacon. A memory of something older than our civilization. And in that realization, terror bloomed beside awe. Because the pulse wasn't growing louder. It was counting down. A sequence that matched Earth's axial wobble, a 26,000-year precession. The ancients had known, not just about the Earth beneath their feet, but the cosmos above. The signals spoke of alignment, of orbital thresholds, of a gate that only opens when the galaxy inhales. Some believed it was a warning. Others, an invitation. NASA, ESA, and China's CNSA launched Project Echo, a probe, sleek and fast, designed to reach Vesta 7 in half a century. But halfway through construction, something changed. The signal stopped blinking. And in its place, a second signal emerged. This time, from our own moon. From the far side, where shadow never forgets. Lunar rovers found a cavity beneath the crust. Carved with the same symbols as Mount Vesago. Smooth metal doors, sealed in regolith. Not human. Not recent. And behind them, a chamber. Silent. Cold. Filled with orbs that pulsed to the same galactic rhythm. One orb activated when touched. And in its glow, images appeared. A map. Not of Earth, but of dozens of worlds. Each marked with the same glyph, the spiral of return. Were these places homes? Beacons? Ruins? Or warnings? The question echoes across our species, in labs, in dreams, in poems. Did we discover the signal? Or did it discover us? The mountain taught us to listen. The stars ask us to choose. And now, at the edge of silence, the universe waits. Not for our strength. Not for our weapons. But for our understanding. They didn't worship the volcano. They listened to it. Learned from it. Lived with it. Now, millennia later, their voices return, carried in ash, in stone, in the trembling ground. They remind us. We are not the first to read the earth's rhythm. We are not the first to forget its warnings. But perhaps we can be the first to remember in time. Porcelain trembled like it remembered something the people had forgotten. Above, the mountain stood in silence, Mount Vesago, crowned in snow and legend. Locals no longer thought of it as a volcano. Marbles rolled uphill, as if the world forgot its rules. Well water warmed. Birds vanished. And old farmers paused mid-step, looking toward the summit. The earth was speaking. Not screaming, yet. Just whispering louder. Scientists dismissed the signs. Background noise, they said. A geological hiccup. But Mount Vesago was not hiccuping. It was waking. A thin plume of vapor rose from the peak. Delicate. Quiet. A signal, not of panic, but preparation. The scent of sulfur returned. The air grew heavier, older. Like breathing dust from forgotten centuries. Then, it happened. Not all at once. But with a kind of slow-motion majesty. The ground opened. The sky darkened. A column of ash rose like a tower of night. The mountain roared. Not with rage. But with revelation. Villages emptied. Plains were grounded. But this eruption wasn't only destruction. It was discovery. When ash settled and the fires cooled, researchers climbed the scorched slope. Among the broken stone, something strange gleamed. A wall. Too perfect. Too precise. Nature doesn't draw straight lines. Brushing soot away, they found a doorway. A corridor. A chamber. An entire city. Sealed beneath the mountain. Not shattered. Preserved. Tables were still set. Tools still lay where hands once worked. Fabrics, untouched by time, still clung to looms. This wasn't ruins. It was a moment, frozen in ash. A civilization had once thrived here. Not just beside the volcano. But with it. Further inside, an observatory appeared. Carvings mapped eruptions like astronomers map stars. Tremors tracked in stone. A table bore rings and glyphs, Earth's cycles engraved like time itself. A pendulum hung over black volcanic sand, tracing the breath of the mountain. They had studied the volcano. Not feared it, understood it. Below the chambers, tunnels stretched like veins. Air shafts. Food storage. Escape routes. Emergency designs that rivaled modern planning. They had prepared. Taught their children. Passed down the science. Their legacy was not lost in fire. It was protected by it. Stonework revealed neighborhoods. bathing chambers, workshops, libraries. A society both practical and poetic. Artisans left pottery glazed with lava patterns. Silver rings shaped like flame. Textiles dyed in colors that still burned bright. Their farms climbed the mountain's skin. Terraces that fed thousands. Some seeds were still intact. They had lived well. Not merely survived, thrived. And then came the tablets. Hundreds of them. Clay records left in the lowest vaults. Their language ancient and strange, yet logical. Symbols traced tremors, water shifts, animal migrations. These were scientists.